Hey friends, Lucian here with the Bullish Bears team, and I wanted to show you how to short a stock within the Thinkorswim platform. I'm using Nugget as a strategy. I have a strategy I like to use with just buying and shorting Nugget. It's a very simple process to do, and Nugget, I found that Thinkorswim has availability usually to short Nugget, where other stocks that they don't, they have a tough time finding shares, like especially with Nugget or with JNUG and those. And actually, as I'm making this video, I'm potentially missing my short entry right now. I'll explain to you what I'm looking for and how to do it. But I'm making this video right now. It's 1:30 in the afternoon, and as you can see, Nuggets kind of already formed sort of a pattern today. You'll see almost a double top over here. You'll see a top up in this area and then one up over here. Again, we just don't normally recommend trading during the middle of the day or anything. But for the purposes of this video, I wanted to show you how it works, how to short JNUG or just any stock in general using the Thinkorswim platform. It can be very complicated to do. Excuse me. There's a lot that happens within the Thinkorswim platform, and that's why you should watch our tutorial series on Thinkorswim within our YouTube channel if you need extra training and help learning how to just use the Thinkorswim platform. But the Thinkorswim platform is a great way to be able to trade and practice, especially if you want to practice shorting. One of the best ways to really practice is practice with Nugget. Nugget's a really, volatile gold ETF. So the stock moves up or down every day. So you can, if it's a bullish day, you could ride it up and practice in your trading account, being bullish on it. But once it finds its peak and then it starts moving down to the moving average lines, you can practice shorting. It's a great stock to practice shorting. And actually, as I'm talking here, I'm seeing some movement going on. We might have a potential area to go in and short. I'm wanting it to get towards this peak. You can see there's a lot of resistance up in this area today, right around that 775 to 780 range. So what I would look to do is I'm going to look at number one, the moving average lines and the candlesticks, and see what's going on with them. Right now, you can see the Bollinger Bands right here. When price kind of got, that's kind of annoying. Let me get rid of that. When price got outside of the Bollinger Band a little bit, it kind of snapped back in. And you can see, right, like I said, this area here, there's some, major resistance. And over here, what I want to do is I want to see if price goes back up and kind of touches this area again. And if it does, and I want to look at the other indicators too, like the MACD, see if there's a potential crossover, and see, this is a great way you can practice getting like 10, 15, 20-cent moves a lot because, if price goes up here to 775 or 80, it's going to want to snap back at some point unless it breaks through. So if it breaks through this resistance area, then, listen, you're not going to short it. You might potentially go long based on the indicators. But if it keeps going back up and it falls down, then price will naturally wants to gravitate back down to these EMA lines. And this blue EMA line is the 9 EMA, the red is the 20. The green in the center is the center of the Bollinger Band, and the dotted line is VWAP. So VWAP acts as a major support and resistance area. So right now, this is a major area of support. If VWAP was above, like up here, it'd be a major area of resistance. So as you can see right now on the 1-minute chart here, the MACD is bearish, the histogram is bearish, and price is starting to fall below these EMA lines. Might be a potential time to good time to get in. I would have liked to have gotten in up here. If I had started this video a few minutes earlier, I would have gotten in on here. And if you see, if I got in right around this 776, it's already down to 770. If this keeps rolling over potentially, price might go down, let's say to 776, and it might want to slowly go down to the VWAP area. So this VWAP area here, that's the average moving price of the stock throughout the day or whatever time period that you're looking at. So, at this point, you want to see, is price going to go up and hit resistance and go break through, or is it going to go and fall back down? And as you can see, the 9s over the 20, that's very bullish. On the 1 minute, the MACD is down here. It's crossed over. The red's over the blue. That's bearish. And you see the EMAs are very tight over here on the 1 minute. So there's consolidation or indecision going on. So it's going to pick one way or the other. But at this point right now, price is still hovering above these EMAs. So that's still a bullish signal. Again, I just do a strategy where I'm just trying to get scalps. So with a stock like Nugget, again, in general, but with Nugget, which is really great, is it forms usually a typical pattern one way or the other throughout the day. And with the moves, you can get 10, 20 cent moves pretty easily. And there's usually shares to short, especially within Thinkorswim, so you can usually get filled. And, it's a great way to practice and get quick scalps. So if you have a decent sized brokerage account and you make 10, 20 cent moves, if you have 1,000 shares, that's $100, $200 a pop. So instead of, let's say, if your goal was to make $1,000 a day in the stock market, instead of making it all in one trade, you can make, 2, 3, 4 trades throughout the day on just trading Nugget up and down and make $100, $200 at a time and get those really good scalps. Again, I don't want to do a foolish move showing you here. I wanted to find the right entry to do this. So right now you can see there's a potential green candlestick forming. The EMAs are tight. It looks like the 9, it's right there. They're all together right now, so it's going to choose a direction. Ideally, what I want to see this do, I want to see it go right up to this range again, and I ideally want to get a position to short it on the way down if it doesn't break through. So this is my active trader template on Thinkorswim, and I'm going to show you here. You can see I have stop losses set up and I have OCO set up. Usually I'll do an OCO with my one cancels the other, where I'll have a stop loss and a limit order to sell in place, and that way it gives me a gauge to see where I'm looking to. It gives me a visual on my chart as to where I'd want to see things. And then sometimes I'll keep it in play, or sometimes I'll cancel the order out so it doesn't show on level 2. But if you look over here, I'm just going to just like I said, if I wanted to get it up here at 777 and I wanted to see if it could potentially go down to this 766 with VWAP down here at 763, that's a potential 10 cent move or so. So maybe I'd put one in like this just to show you here, and I would set it just to show you right now with the purposes of this video to see what it looks like. I would set it, let me see where here, it went up to 777. There was this range here right around 774. So right around this 775 mark, where is it right now? 770. It's already starting to kind of keep bouncing. Again, it might not pop up, but just to show you here, what I would do is I would go over here, and this is the active trader ladder. And if you're not sure how this works, watch our active trader ladder video within our Thinkorswim playlist on our YouTube. On the left side here, this is the buying. Right here is selling. So if I thought it was going to go up, I would purchase over here on the buy side. If I believe it's going to go down and I want to short, I would click over on this side, the sell side. If I just click on sell the bid, that's shorting. So buy the ask is buying it, sell the bid is actually shorting. So if I don't have shares and I sell the bid, that means I'm shorting. So selling the bid without shares is shorting, buying the ask is buying. Over here on the green side, this is like me buying at a specific price where I'm bullish on the stock. Over here, anywhere above the price of the stock, this grayish area, you'll see it move up and down, that's where the price of the stock is. So anywhere above that would be where I'd be going to short. So if I see that I want to catch it up here, I'd want to short somewhere up in this range up here if it doesn't break through. Now again, be careful, the MACD is still bullish. Now there is some potential weakness over here. There might be a potential crossover here, but price is still above these EMAs, so it could break through. But to give you a visual for the purposes of this video here, let me put an order in right around the 770. You can see here some sellers coming in around this on level 2. 773, 74. Let me put it into 774 just to see if I get filled. So now you can see my order's up here with my stop above here, which is above the high of the day. I have a 10-cent stop with 1,000 shares, so the most I'd lose is $100. Now again, I have a 10 by 10 right now. It's not a 1 to 2 profit loss ratio. You should always have at least a 1 to 2 profit loss. But if I'm just again just going really smart scalps, or really small scalps. I'm not trying to break the bank here. I'm just getting $100, $200 moves, and just I intend to stop out over here. But just to kind of go show you here, and it's starting to move here, so it didn't go up and hit it. It's still dojiing around here. So for this video, let me just put it in at 70. Oh, I don't want to do. I wanted to do it at 73 here. Let me just move it down a little bit. See if there's any weakness. I want to show you how this works so you can see how it goes up or down with the market, see it live in live market action. And again, I'm using my simulated account right now, so you could actually do this and practice this yourself. You can see again, it's bearish on the MACD. The lines are tight over here. Still kind of bearish, but might be crossing over here, getting the dark green. Still obeying these moving average lines. See, it's not breaking down. You can see it bouncing up a little bit. We'll see if I get filled. And look at it, it's kind of still dojiing around there. But again, this could potentially go bullish, and it might go up. But again, I have my stop above the high of the day. I have a tight stop loss. I know the risk that I'm willing to take. But this is just, again, to show you how it works with shorting. Again, the grid over here, this is the sellers. Over here is the buyers. So you can see the buyers coming in at 7. There's more buyers over here at the 770 price than over here. On the sell side, it's still dojiing around, and price could move up and go up this way. It might not go down yet. But if I get filled through here and I got a little bit of a buffer up in here, and I think it's going to touch up here and fall back down, it could fall back down to the EMAs. Again, the 9 EMAs, the first level of support. The 20, the red one here, is second, followed by VWAP down here at 763. There we go. So, so now I'm filled. So now you can see right now my stop loss is in place above here. If it goes and breaks, then I could get stopped out. What I'm ideally looking for it to do is go up and kind of just fall back down. Now, I'm looking for it to potentially come back down here to VWAP, these green dots, which is the average price throughout the day, which is a major area of support. So ideally, I would like to see this cross and go down, price fall down through the 9, down to the 20, down to the VWAP. Again, we'll see, but just to show you the visual, my stop loss is above rather than below. So if I was purchasing or looking for it to be bullish, my stop would be down here, and my limit to order to sell would be up here. Now I can always cancel one of these, here. I don't have to show it in the system. So if I don't want to show right here, this is me buying to cover my position. So I shorted right here at 773. Price is at 774. My stop loss is at 783. So meaning if it breaks through and hits up here, then I'm going to stop out. But if it falls down, it's going to cover, and it would cover my position right at VWAP. See how I have mine right around VWAP, right around support? So if this becomes bearish, price could fall. Ideally, I'd want it to fall down from the 9, the 20, tap down at VWAP, and then I get filled. It's a 10-cent move times 1,000 shares. It's $100. You can do this several times throughout the day. I did it 3 times this morning on Nugget. If you go back, you can see there's just very volatile moves. But it acts as just very of areas of support and resistance, this green dots. So again, at this point, it's an area of support. So you can see here it's going up. So we'll see at this point if it's going to go up and if it's going to break through. So you can see major resistance areas up here. Again, it could go and break through, or it can go and tap out up there and come back down. You can see right here the MACD histogram on the 1 minute over here. The MACD is crossing. It's bullish. The 9 is over the 20 over here. So this is a bullish signal. Now again, it still has to go up and break major area of resistance. So let's just kind of just watch it and see what happens. Watch it play out. This may be a long or a short video, who knows? I want you to just show you the movement of the market, the movement of buying and selling stocks, how shorting looks, just looking at the overall platform within Thinkorswim and practicing. We always encourage our followers to practice and get comfortable with the platform that you're using. Again, at this point, everything's really bullish right here. The nines over the 20, nines over the 20. But what I'm looking for it to do, I'm looking for price to go up here, tap up here, and fall back down. And again, you can see things here. The low of the day was down right in, well, that's the low of the day here, but you can see a few times it went down, price went down to 749. So right now, price is up at 775. It's having a tough time breaking this upper 770s. If it falls back down, ideally it's going to come down through these EMAs, and then there's still some movement to go below that. So it's either going to touch VWAP and fall below or go above, or maybe it'll just not fall whatsoever and I could get stopped out. So we will see what happens here. So you can see here the price movements moving up and down. This gray area here is the current price of the stock. That arrow is where I got in at. So you can see it's still trying to go up, hitting these areas. Got the Bollinger Bands. Hasn't broken through here. You can see again my stop loss and my limit order to buy to cover the order. At this point, it's still potentially bullish. There might be some weakness with this dark green candle here on the 1 minute. You can still see some potential weakness here over here. You can see the potential curl with the MACD and the dark green, not the light green. I expect it to roll over and come down. Now again, I have my order to buy at 763, but I'm going to look at the visual here. So ideally, let's say I want to make 10 cents on that trade, right? But maybe it goes down to the 766 and I can only make 7 cents on the trade. I have to watch it, these other indicators and the other time frames. I might not be able to get 10. I might only get 5 or 6 or 7. So you don't want to get too greedy. But again, the strategy with this and with practicing is you can take a stock that moves up and down, buy and short it. It's tough to get shares to short with a lot of brokers, especially Thinkorswim. And I love Thinkorswim and I highly promote them. We promote them in our community to our members. But the problem is for shorting, they don't have an easy strategy to short, meaning they don't have a lot of shares to short. Oh, see this? You can see some potentially rolling over here now. See it starting to cross potentially, starting to cross over here. It's tough to get shares to short within Thinkorswim, and they don't have an easy indicator, which is absolutely crazy. They don't say, yes, we have shares to short, or no, we don't. It's absolutely absurd. The only way you know whether Thinkorswim has shares to short is by going to make a trade, and then you find out quickly whether they have shares to short or not. And that's really annoying. But I do know that with Nugget, they're very good about having shares to short. I haven't had a problem with them yet. JNUG, which is the junior version of junior miners with the gold miners. So it's the junior version of Nugget. You can't short with Thinkorswim. So at least you can do it with Nugget. And again, it's a great way to practice. So you can see right here, some 3 red 1 minute candlesticks starting to potentially roll over. Again, the 9 is still over the 20, so that's still bullish. You do have a bearish crossover. The 9's crossed, or it's crossed over down here, and you see potentially bearish, but you have to look at the big picture over here on the 5 minute, where you still have the 9 is still over the 20. The candlesticks are still bouncing above the 9. And there still isn't a crossover yet. You might start to see a pinch soon here on this MACD, and it either could cross over and potentially start going down, or it can pinch and then go back up and price can bounce again. But as you can see, price is just obeying these moving average lines. And again, this dotted green line is VWAP. VWAP is a very, very major area excuse me, of support and resistance that traders obey. So when price starts to fall during the day, they look at it as an area of support. When price is below it, they look at it as an area of resistance. So if price started below this area and it starts going up like over here, and then it breaks VWAP, so you can see over here, these green candlesticks go and they break VWAP. So you have the 9s over the 20 here, and it breaks VWAP. You could have wrote it, if I was watching this earlier and I was going to be bullish on it, I could have wrote it from 763 all the way up to 778. That's a 15-cent move, right? See, when it hit up here at 778, if I saw that that was the peak, which it was during the day, and I caught it a little bit earlier before I was making this video, I could have wrote it. See, watch this. I could watch it, the 9 crossing the 20. It breaks above. You can see it tapping VWAP 1, 2, 3 times. Then it breaks through. Let's say I got in at 764. Let's say I got on at 778. Let's say a 14-cent move. At that point, I could have then wrote it from 778 all the way back down to the 9 EMA, 768. That's a 10-cent move. So if you do the math here and just use your money as leverage in your account with your proper risk management, you could have gotten a 10 to 14-cent move up there, and then a 10-cent move back down to the 9 EMA. That's just round it down. 10 times 10. That's 20-cent move. If you had 1,000 shares, that's $100 up, $100 down, minus your commission fees, 200 minus, let's say, $20. That's $180 just for riding 10 and 15-cent moves. At this point, you can see things just kind of dodging. It's just kind of going up, hitting the moving averages. Here we go. This will be a critical move. You can see here, this might not be the greatest play. Again, I'm trying to give you the overall picture on how to do this during the market. You'll see here now it's a great chance for it to go up and break through. I wanted to just kind of really show you the real world action of how this works. If I stop out, that's okay. Because I can always get back in and ride it back down if I was wrong on it, because then it'll create a pattern. Again, we don't recommend trading at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You want to trade between 9:30 and 11 and maybe 2:30 and 4. But this is, again, I just wanted to show you how this works. It's breaking. This is all bullish now. And what I could do is if I get stopped out here, I could see if it hits a peak and then get back in and ride it on the way back down. Again, you don't want to just randomly do this. I wanted to show you the visual. It is the high of the day is right here, 780. Let's see what's going to happen. It's 779. Look at that. It's going right up to the high of the day. It's at 780. My stop loss is at 783. There is some major resistance over in these areas. 785 range. There's some major resistance. So if this goes up to 785 and taps, I'm going to move this for the sake of this video. I'm going to do this. I'm going to move it to 786. I have a feeling, I want to see if it's going to break 785. I think it might go to 785 range and bounce back down. You can see it right here. It's struggling. Gotta love how the market moves. Potential double top, and it's either going to break up, but now remember, major resistance point, whole and half dollar amount, 785 above is close to $8. So this could be a breakout, or it could be going up right, closer to, 780, 785, as you can see over in these areas right here. See all these areas here? Right on this area, major resistance areas close to a whole dollar amount. It's on a Friday, and next week is a potential rate hike. So, maybe this might be the last push of the day for the week. We'll see. But as you can see it's just, it's struggling right now. It's either going to go and break through, or it's going to break down. Now, I don't suggest just randomly putting stop losses and just adjusting them. Again, you want to do your proper risk management. For this video, again, I wanted to show you the movement, show you how things work, show you what it actually looks like, your order in the system to, with your stop loss, your buy to cover, show how it obeys the major support and resistance lines and the EMAs, and then how you can short things back down. And again, trading the stock market, the best traders in the world don't succeed 100% of the time. I heard one of the top traders recently, basically he said his success ratio is 55%, but it's proper risk management. And especially with shorting, sometimes it's tough to do the proper entry. So I got in down here at 773. It's up at 780, 81. That's not the best entry. It could go against me, but at this point, if I did get stopped out, and then it starts to fall, I could always get back in, and now I can get a better visual. Okay, let's say 783 or 4 is the high of the day, and now I get in over here, and it can drop down, another 15 cents. I could make that money back on the way back down, because at some point it's going to hit its peak. You can see RSI, it's starting to get towards overbought on the 1 and the 5 minute. So it's either going to break up or it's going to start falling back down, and it's going to start falling down to these EMAs. I have a feeling that it's not going to go up, but I could be wrong. Look at the 780. Extremely bullish here, though. It's exciting. Gotta love this. I love shorting. I love shorting JNUG. Like I said, 3 times this morning. I made 3 quick scalps off of Nugget. I don't know if I said JNUG before. If I did, I meant Nugget. I don't remember what I said anymore. You can see here, price getting up, breaks outside of the Bollinger Band, starts to come back in. It's either going to make its way up or come back down. This is all very bullish, very, very bullish signal. So ideally, what I would have done was waited. Again, it's all about timing, and you can never predict your timing perfectly. I thought I started to see it roll over here before, but it had in that last leg up. Ideally, I would have waited for it to get up here to bring it back down. But again, sometimes your timing's off. You can see these Bollinger Bands starting to separate. That's very bullish. The 9 over the 20 over the center of the Bollinger Band here. And then you can see VWAP here. That's all very bullish. So this thing's either going to break up or it's going to break down. But look, it's still struggling. But here we go. We'll see. There it goes. Final push up. Oh, there it goes. I might get stopped out. We'll see. This thing's going to come down, so it's either going to stop me out and I'm going to get back in, or it's going to fall any moment here. Now look at it. It's starting to get overbought here. Starting to get overbought. Extremely bullish here. Again, should have waited here till it went up, but I didn't know. It looked like it was going to be bearish. There it goes. There it's going to go. It's going to tap out. Watch this. I have a feeling it's going to fall. I'm going to just adjust my stop loss. Don't do this. Don't just randomly do this. Don't do what I'm doing. I just have a feeling once it gets over up to this 785 marker. Let me see. Let me go back here. Yeah, don't do what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to do this for the video. Now, I would have gotten stopped out. See that? I got in at 773. I would have gotten stopped out there. I went up to 784. Again, for the video, I want to show you the movement of things. I just had this feeling of this 785 marker, and we'll see. Now, if this goes and breaks through, see, look at that. 86, it hit it. It's breaking up. Super bullish right now. Look at this. This is absolutely beautiful how bullish this is. And I would have gotten stopped out. So, if I'd stayed with my strategy, which I always recommend, you stay with your strategies, I would have stopped out, right? At this point, I want you to see it come back down and see how it should. Again, if it keeps going bullish, that's going to be great, but it's the $7.85 to $8 marker. And at some point, once it gets up overbought like this, it's going to pull back down to these EMAs. Now, I'm actually too far down here at this point. So at this point, I made probably a bad trade at this point because now it's really far away from VWAP. I don't know what's going to happen, at this point. But it is creating, it did break through this double top of the day. But if I'm right, this should start to fall and head down here. But my my buy to cover might be too short. So I think I got a bad entry on this one. Again, I wouldn't have traded normally at 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I wouldn't have just randomly done this like this. I would have stuck with my strategies. I would have just taken that $100 loss and considered a bad trade, and then I would have saw it up here around the 786 and then shorted it back down to here. So that's what I would have normally done, because that 785 range was a pretty big major area of resistance, and I would have waited again towards the last hour of the day if I was to do it towards the end of the day. But for this video, you're getting to see all of the things happen. You're able to see, oh, what happens if I got a bad entry on my short? What's actually going to happen? You'll see I would have gotten stopped out. That's okay. I would have managed my risk. But now I would have seen, okay, I missed my bad entry there, but now I can see it's struggling right up at the 783 to 85 range. It's close to $8, a whole dollar amount. It's starting to maybe roll over here, so that maybe I can look at this and say, hey, these, if I got in at 783 or 84, I could write it down right down here to the 9. That's a 10-cent move. And then another 5 cents down, that's another 10-15 cent move right down to the 20 EMA. So that would have been a better entry and a better way for it to move. But look, you're starting to see, again, this is the 5 minute, this is the 1, starting to curl, might go back up. Let's just watch it. Sorry this is taking so long, but this is real world. This is how shorting and trading works. Watching the market, seeing how things go, getting in on a stock, having it move, opposite of the direction you wanted it to go in, re-strategizing, picking a better entry, getting a signal, that might be, an entry that might be potentially better. You can see here, it hit that top up here, right here on the 1 minute. So that's 783, excuse me, in 86 here. Right around this mark, right on that 785, like I was telling you earlier. I expect this thing to roll over. But what I want to see at this point is I'm expecting this first line of defense, the 9 EMA, and right down to potentially the 20 if it's going to drop down further. Who knows if it'll go to a VWAP. But at this point, you can see it was a bad entry. But who knows? I could watch this, and you could watch. This thing could really start falling and falling all the way back down here. Who knows? So it might not be too bad of an entry, but I would, if I stuck with my strategy, which I should have, I would have gotten stopped out up here. So this would have been a bad trade. But again, don't trade during the middle of the day and just do it randomly. Only do it for practice. And you can see here, crossover MACD, and you can see here, it's got kind of 2 major tops here, right around the 780, 785. Man, I'm tired right now. I just talked a lot going on with the market, going on with making this video here and showing you all of these things. But again, that's where I just want you to kind of see this, and just so you can just practice on your own, see how the market works, see how it works real world. I was hoping for it to kind of start going the other way, but it doesn't want to seem to do that right now. But that's a perfect example of how a trade can go against you. If you did this real market, so if you took this trade really thinking that Nugget was going to drop at that point, and it wasn't going to go up, well, you can see what happens when it turns against you. I think I got in over here. Where did I get in around? Right around, I think I got in right around these areas here, 773. Yeah, I got it in right around here, and it went up. And again, you can see it went up and it broke the high of the day, formed a new high. And at this point, who knows what's going to happen? It still wants to keep going up. Let's give it another minute or so. As you can see, this is bearish, but again, the 9 is still over the 20, which is bullish. So when you look at these, the 9 over the 20, 9 over the 20, this is all bullish. And it's going back up again. Here it goes. Now it wants to go, and now you got to see it. Is it going to go and break 786, or is it going to fall back down? Look at that. It goes right up to 783. Right up here, 783. And it's either going to go up or it's going to come back down. And it just obeys these moving average lines. So as price stays above it, that is a bullish signal. When it starts to fall, you'll see when it falls, it'll start to fall hard. And you can see it green, this red candlestick here went from 786 down to 777. That's 9 cents down pretty quickly. But that's where you can make, 10-cent moves very quickly with a stock like Nugget, because it's a very volatile ETF. It's heading back to overbought again. There it goes, 785, right at that same range. That 786 is the high. Look at that. It's going to hit the high of the day. What's it going to do? Is it going to break? Is it going to break it? 786. Touches it again. Look at that. 786. So you have it at here. You have 783, 86, 85, 86. So 86, 86, 83. It's struggling. What's it going to do? So currently right now, what price is it? 773, 7. Let's see here. There it goes. It's struggling. So it's either going to go and it's going to have a breakthrough or it's coming down. And again, just to go back to show you here, let me draw a line of resistance up here. Let me see if it goes. Actually, let me go over to, let me see if I can see this over here. Let me do it this way. Let me go from over here. So you can see over here. Let me just do this. Let me do that line. Now when you can see when you go over here, when I zoom in, let me get rid of that. So you can see that? It's right at resistance. And if you go back, when I drew it from back over here, let me see, where'd it go? Right over here. So you see 785 here, here, tapped up over here, up in this area. So over here, 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 and here, major resistance areas on the 5-minute chart the past 5 days. And look, it's just still, it's struggling. And it's either going to break up, but then if it goes above that, now you got to go to that $8 range. And let me see what the next level is up there. Oh, let me see here. Can you see here? Look at this. So it's looking to try and break out. So perfect example. Now I'm on the 1 hour, right? Can you see these candlesticks here, right up here at the 85? Right? So it's going back to the resistance area that I was just showing you in the 5 minutes. So you can see major resistance area over here. And then, look at this, right over here, right around that $8 range. You can see right there, there's 808. And right at 7, yeah, so there's a lot of resistance right over here. So now, it's got to go and break that area as well. Look at that. Now, MACD lines are getting tighter, might be a crossover. You can see here it's tried 1, 2, 3 times at that 785, 86 range. Potential red candle forming. Potentially wants to come down. Again, it can come down and touch this 9 EMA and then continuously go back up, or it might break down below it. We'll see. I won't keep this hopefully going too much longer. I want you to be able to not be held in suspense so you can see what happens. So we'll see what happens. A couple red candlesticks coming down to then 20 EMA. It's going to hit it here. Is it going to fall below the 20? Look at it bounces. Still needs to come down over here. There is a kind of a crossover here now in the 1 minute. Potentially red on the histogram. Now there's a crossover. Now the 9 becomes resistance, but it still hasn't hit the 9 on the 20, or in the hasn't hit the 9 on the 5 minute yet. It's bouncing. We shall see it through. And the other, again, so when you also want to look at, when you're doing this, look at level 2, see where the buyers and the sellers are. So you can see buyers coming in here at 781, 82. There's more buyers and sellers now right up here. That's 785. Seems to be that 784, 85's major resistance area. Keep an eye on it. Again, it's going up there trying to break that 785, 86 mark. Will it do it? 785. And you can see here now, the MACD lines are getting closer together again. It's going back up, 785. Look at that. See, it's just struggling. It's just struggling. It's just obey. That's just amazing when you watch this stuff, just how everything obeys support and resistance. So not only did this, I wanted to make this video on shorting, I want to show you how how the market obeys these support and resistance levels and these EMAs, and looking at the whole big picture when trading and looking at the MACD lines, the RSI lines. You can see when it starts to get overbought right up here. See that? Once it starts to get overbought, it starts to pull back a little bit. Back over here, once it gets overbought, what's it do? Price kind of moves back down, and you move into these moving average lines. And if you're watching it, again, you can make these quick 10-cent moves. 786 down to 777, a 9-cent move, and then 777 back up to 786, another 9-cent move. You could make these 10-cent moves all day long within Nugget. That's why I love trading it up or down. I've been waiting for this stupid thing to come down here, but it doesn't want to be my friend right now. But as you can see, 1, 2, 3 5-minute candles at that 786, 785 range. But it's 2:09 in the afternoon. Price might come back down to the 9 and then go shoot up and break $8 at the end of the day. You never know. So that's how shorting works. I don't want to keep this going on forever. Let's just do this. Let me do this. Let me move this here. Let me see if I get stopped out, just to show you how it works when you get stopped out. Oh, now it's gonna probably go the other direction now. It's probably gonna do what I want it to do now here. So let me do this. I'm gonna move my stop over here. Keep it where I should have had it. I shouldn't have played around. Again, I was making it for the video, but put it right at this. Let me put it right at the 85 mark. Give her another minute or so. But that's where you want to, again, keep your strategy, because that's where managing risk is so important when trading. So you don't want to do what I did this video, and I did it on purpose, again, because I'm making the video for you, but I wouldn't do this when trading myself. It's just randomly change that stop loss, because now if I had gains during the day or during that week and then I adjusted my stop loss higher, that could go and ruin the gains that I've made. That's why you want to keep that 1-to-2 ratio of 1-to-2 profit loss ratio. You see that? See right here, that would have been a really decent short right here. So if I got in at 786, I could have just wrote it down right here to that 777 marker, 9-cent move. That's ideally how you want to short. You want to get those 10-cent moves like that, or whatever you're looking for. But that's the way you can see here, 777 up into 786. That's 9 cents up, 9 cents down. You can see over here, you could have gotten that 10 to 14 cent move up, 10 cents down. So you could literally have just traded right here, 10 cents up, 9 cents down, 10 cents up, 9 cents down, right to these EMAs. And if you think it's going to go back up and this turns, you can write another 10 cents or 7, 8, 9, 10 cents up. Remember, you're just using your money as leverage. So these, 7, 8, 9, 10 cent moves, that's great money that you can make. So you don't have to go for the heavy hit all the time and just make 1,000 or 2,000 a pop. You can do it, a couple hours in the morning, hour and 2 in the afternoon, just doing something simple like trading a stock like Nugget that moves 10 cents up and down at a time. And when it's really moves, this thing can move 50 cents, $1 at least in a day. It's quite a bit of money that you could be making. So that's it for this video right now. I went way too long. I apologize. Hopefully this didn't bore you. I just wanted to give you real world of how things work. But if you're not a member of our trading community yet, we have a great community on Facebook called the Bullish Bears. Come over and join us on Facebook. The link will be below, or you can head over to bullishbears.com and come and join us. Again, we're a great trading community with a bunch of traders from around the world that just really love helping each other out. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay up to date with our latest videos. We try to make lots of tutorials like this. Sometimes we go a little bit too long in the videos because we like to show you real world scenarios and not just make it some promotional pitch, but just basically show you exactly how the market moves, how trades work, live market action, using a virtual account, because we want to help you protect and manage your risk. And that's where you want to make a couple hundred trades and really practice within your brokerage account so you feel comfortable. And Thinkorswim has a phenomenal trading platform to do that. So, as you can see here, everything I'm doing here, this is a virtual account, but this looks exactly like my real account. So this is a perfect place to go and practice and trade. And let me just do this here now. Let me just stop out because this is annoying me at this point. Let's just do this. Just show you how there we go, I stopped out. So at this point, I'm done. I'm out of my position, and I would have lost on that trade. But as you can see here, now we have an area of new area of major resistance, and now you want to watch it from here. And if you was to short, and I believe this was going to start to turn, I would short it up in this area and start writing it down, 5-10 cents at a time.